Have you got Jeff and Jabari tonight?
Jeff, no. Jabari, yes.
Jeff played like 6 minutes last night. Was he dealing with it then? Is that why he played such a shorter stint?
He was dealing with it, but not why he played the short stint.
Okay.
You've had that starting group together now for 7 straight games. How have you thought that it's looked, and are you seeing it kind of get back to what it was for those first 27 games?
Yeah, it's been much better. Obviously a big part of that is individuals playing better with the group. It was a little mixed bag. We, didn't get off to great starts the whole time. Obviously the first Phoenix game, and then flipped that and got off to a better start. And so one thing is not only, those guys being healthy and being together for a while, is how we are playing together. And really the starts has been indicative of our season. And so I think they've been better lately. And like I said, as much as simple as it can be, as individuals are playing better.
Why has Cam been able to make such an impact in such a short amount of time?
I mean, what he does and his skill set translates to NBA immediately. Size, athleticism, scoring mentality, physicality, all that stuff he does offensively translates immediately. Shoots the ball well, attacks. Defensively is where he had the biggest area to catch up, and that was some of the what progress that he's made, but also what we wanted to see early in the season. So that's a big part. He took advantage of being in Rio Grande for those games and kind of locked in on the things that we had asked him to improve on, and the scoring is kind of second nature to him. So
after reviewing last night's game, is there anything that you've noticed that come to win that you didn't really think about doing the game?
I didn't think we played our best first half in general. I think at times it looked really good. The bench, I think we had a lull to start the second quarter, and they got back in the game from an 8-point deficit. So didn't love our bench in that stretch there, but kind of got it back on track, and then our finish in the first half wasn't great. So with that being said, we saw what we did poorly in the first half and made adjustments in the second half. And a big part was guys being aggressive. Obviously, Alperen had a big night, but his activity off the ball and some of the cross matches that we had was really big for us. And everybody else switching, and our rotations were on point. So it allowed us to kind of take Wembanyama out as far as some of the lob threat things he has in the pick and pops. We took him out of those actions, and Alperen was there on both ends. But also credit to Dylan, locked in there, took him out of his sweet spots and did a great job there.
And went 0 for 4 last night, but he seemed kind of eager to take a couple threes, one mid-range. Are there conversations you guys have about staying confident, keep letting those jumpers fly, especially when he's open?
Yeah, that's a part of it, but also not letting the defense dictate what shots he's going to take. And obviously in transition is one thing. He's elite there with pushing the pace and getting to the basket, but teams are going to guard him with specific matchups. Some big zone him at times to try to take away the paint, and not settling for those shots, getting to his mid-range where he's more comfortable, but also finding areas on the court where he's not in those high quadrant threes where they're helping off. So he's been really good in the dunker, playing off Alperen there, really good slash to the basket. So get impacted those ways, and as you know, he's been great on the offensive glass. So we like him being aggressive and confident, but also understanding what they're trying to give him and not settling for that all the time.
You have such a young team. How do you prepare them for one night playing against the Spurs and their team, and then turn right back around and have to play against this high, power team in the Clippers?
Yeah, I think 60 plus games into it, and even in the young guys' careers, it's NBA. They understand that. We had 3 and 4 nights coming out of All-Star break, and then back to back now after 2 days off. And so every game is a challenge, presents something different. And for us, it's last night the message was get as motivated for San Antonio, a lower tier team, as you did for Phoenix in those back-to-back games, and playing against Durant, Booker, and Beal. And so that's the same thing tonight, playing against George, Leonard, and Harden. You got to get up for that challenge. And so understanding what it is back-to-back, we did it last night. Let's try to duplicate it tonight.
A lot of times talk about Jalen Green is on the offensive end, but what have you seen from him on the defensive end lately? It seems like he's more locked in and has more intensity on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I think just being more competitive in general. Taking those challenges. A big one was Beal the other night, and you see you got a little chippy there between those two, and that's the biggest thing, is having that competitive nature and the effort on that side. And then it's rotations and schematics that we want him to get down and be better at. But the first part is taking that challenge and not just being labeled on one side. And so I think he's done that better coming out of All-Star break, guarded. But then obviously everybody knows the scoring, so doubly as well if he's doing both and not giving up one on the defensive end.
You guys have been very good defensively against the ISO teams like Phoenix, and we'll see this one tonight. Is it schemes that fit more with that, or is it skills, or what is it that has allowed you to defend one-on-one so much better?
Well, we have versatility across the board. I think big wings and you got Amin and those guys, Jabari, that can do a lot of cross matching as well. So even missing Tari and Jay Sean not playing as much, Jeff is a small ball 5. I think we have a lot of versatility there, so we can do a lot of things. But what we have done is gone after certain players, and I think our rotations and our communication has been a lot better lately. You're gonna have to do that at times with the Phoenix teams and teams like tonight where they have 3 scorers on the court, and so take the pride and effort on initially guarding one-on-one, but then everything else has to come behind it. And I think our rotations have been on point.
How good is it to have a player like Dylan who will sacrifice his scoring to be able to play defense and to take on the challenges of the star players of opposite teams?
Yeah, well, I think he made his name on the defensive side, and so that's kind of second nature to him. I don't think he's the happiest when he doesn't score, but he's a guy that understands the challenge and took pride in wanting that matchup last night and really pushing him off his spots, taking him out of his comfort zone. So, like I said, he's not going to be the happiest when he doesn't score, but he understands the job he did, especially limiting or holding him scoreless in the second half, and so understands what gets it done. He's played long enough to understand how he impacts the game.
Another defensive question, just in general, like you had to put defenses together in all of your stops, and you look at the league shooting a lot of threes, having that be a priority. Like, how do you, as a coach, evaluate how you defend the 3-pointer, especially just removing the make or miss aspect of it?
Well, you look at the numbers, quite frankly, being one of the worst last year and one of the best at guarding the threes. We wanted to understand how we take teams off of that. And, for us, it's trusting our one-on-one defense, knowing when we are in the right position to help. And a big thing with us has been KYP, knowing your personnel, who we can help off of, who we want to influence shots, and then who we want to take away. And so, big thing is relying on one-on-one defense, first of all, switching a lot of actions to take them off 3-point shots. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that. Even now, Brent improving in this level of being up higher and guys really fighting over. We put the onus on the guards and wings to defend pick and rolls, and that's an area we really struggled last year is 3-pointers off of pick and rolls. So switching takes care of a lot, but you have to do it the correct way and talk it out.
How much does physicality play a role in any of that, both on and off the ball?
Yeah, it's one of the main things we talk about, but being one of the more physical defensive teams, touching our guys at all times, and seeing how the rest are going to call it, and when they don't, it's our advantage. And we saw that in Phoenix the other night, and so that's the technique we talk about, and we want to increase our physicality and aggressiveness. And I think all of our guys have done that. We got some really good guards that climb into the ball. Aaron, Amin, Dylan, those guys, and the guys that did do it as well in the past have really improved in that area.
There's obviously a lot of talk from the fans in particular, and us as well. Do you guys just let us talk about James Harden returning here? Because you obviously weren't here. A lot of players weren't even here. How do you handle that, or just let us do it?
Yeah, we haven't discussed it at all. Obviously, the focus last night was San Antonio, and then we'll talk about Clippers tonight, but it's Clippers as a whole. Obviously, they have 3 elite players, and you can't just worry about James returning. And so, I coach James, know him well, and but we haven't even mentioned it at all. And coaching staff or the players.
Coach, there have been a few games now where you had Jalen and Cam on the floor in the end of the games. As a duo, what did you see from them, just as a pairing together?
You say Jalen and Cam or Dylan and Cam?
Cam and Jalen.
Jalen. Yeah, I think if the scoring is there, obviously they're 2 of our best wing scorers in all aspects as far as that. The main thing is with the case, which is the case with both of them, has been their defensive intensity and focus. And when they're locked in and doing it well, they bring different skill sets. But Cam is a big body that can duplicate some of the things that Dylan does and some of the bigger wings we have. And like I said, if Jalen's locked in on not only his matchup but the help side and being in the proper rotations, their scoring is a only added bonus. So really trying to help them improve on the defensive end and not be labeled as offensive only guys, and they have the capabilities to do it.
Thanks, Coach.